Hello, today we're using the Screen Chomp app to create a lines landscape. We've been looking at the different kinds of lines we used to draw with in art class, so today we're going to use those lines to make a landscape, a picture of the land. Say landscape, a picture of the land. Let's use Screen Chomp. You'll find that app by looking for the big green man that is eating an iPad. He's got an iPad on a fork and he's been chomping on it. If you have drawing on your screen and you need to get a clean screen, you can either use the eraser to erase it a little bit at the time, but the fastest way to do it is to use this wipe. Right here, when you hold down on the wipe button, it wipes everything off of your screen. We're not going to use the record button today. You can record your drawing to make a video, but today we're going to go ahead and get started. I'd like for us to use a black marker to start by making a horizontal line to be a road in our landscape. We'll make a horizontal, flat like a table, line across the middle of our screen, and let's do another horizontal, flat like a table, line in front of it. That'll be the front edge of our road. And we can color in the space in between those two lines to make one thick horizontal, flat like a table line to create a road. This also divides our picture into a foreground, the area that's in the front, and a background, the area that's going to be in the back. Now that we've done our horizontal line for our road, let's use yellow and do a dashed line down the middle of our road. I want to go dash, jump, dash, jump, dash, jump, dash, jump. And every time I jump, I'm lifting my stylus, or you can lift your finger to make a broken dashed line down the middle of the road. That looks great. That's definitely starting to look like a road now. Let's add some hills. I want to switch over to green. I'll use that dark green to draw some hills. And I'm thinking about driving and making a road trip to the mountains of North Carolina, maybe like going to Asheville. And as you get further and further away from High Point, you start to see hills. Not tall mountains yet, but hills. So we have a bumpy line that bumps to a point, bump to a point, bump to a point, bump to a point. And we can do another set of hills behind those and bump to a point, bump to a point, bump to a point, all the way across the back. And we could color those in with that same dark green, or you could switch over and use some of the lighter green. I think I'm going to use both of them. And when I color these in, I like to keep doing those curvy lines that we saw when we created the bumpy line, because it's really just a lot of curved lines that are connected at the point. I love the fact we have two different greens on Screen Chomp, so we could actually blend them together. A lot of times when I color with crayons, I'll press hard some of the time and press light some of the time. You can't do that on the Screen Chomp app. You can't press hard and press light to get different values or darknesses of the same color, but we can mix some of those colors together. Now that I colored in my hills, I'm going to come back with a little bit more green, maybe switch to my thin pen by pressing the smallest dot, and give some more curved lines on those hills. so people can see they're curved at the top and they're flatter down here at the front. Oh, those hills look great. Next, I'd like to create some mountains behind my hills. Let me switch over to my brown marker, and I think this time I'm going to use the thin marker again and use that brown line. I want to create a zigzag line to help me draw some mountains. They're really far away, and your picture doesn't have to look just like mine. You might only have 2 mountains where I have 3. And I want to come back with a jagged line, jagged, 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 to make an area that's going to be snow at the top of my mountains. Jagged, 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 jagged. It's a lot like the zigzag line, but it's really irregular. If I switch back to my thick brown marker, it'll be a lot easier to color in those mountains. And I'm also using a jagged stroke to color in those mountains. Unfortunately, I only have 1 color of brown in Screen Chomp. I'm going to leave the jagged area at the top white like snow. So when we saw Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh, the sky was really dark. So we'll get out that blue and make our sky kind of dark. And I have to do a zigzag line when I come down to meet the mountains and color in the sky. So when we saw the painting Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh, we saw lots of curvy lines in the sky that were the wind blowing clouds in front of the stars. So let's use some black in our sky to make it look like the sky at night. Really dark with those wavy lines and curved lines. That could be the wind blowing some clouds in front of the stars. Let's use some yellow to make some stars in the sky. And I want to come back and add a little bit of orange to that also. And maybe even a little bit of red. Because I'm thinking about the painting Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Now I want to think about the foreground, or the area in the front of my art. And I want to use a wavy line down here to make a lake. When I color it in, I'll keep using those curvy strokes to color it in. I'm not going to color this in solid. A lot of times when you see a lake, it has light reflected in it, so it has some white highlights on it. And let's switch over to our green to do lots of jagged lines in the front. That could be the grass down here in the foreground. can't wait to see how your lines landscape turned out. I know it's going to be beautiful and unique in its own way. And don't forget, you're never finished till you sign your name. So I'm going to sign my name right here in the bottom right hand corner. That's where an artist always signs his name or her name. Once you finish, don't forget to take a screenshot of your artwork. We do that by pressing the home button and the power button at the same time. So find your home button and your power button and press those at exactly the same time, and you'll see your screen flash. Then you've taken a picture of your artwork to save in your photo library.